in the ever-evolving landscape of your professional life, especially in or within the creative sectors like marketing and employer branding, intertwining your personal style with career development has actually become increasingly significant. Thanks to social media, thanks to all those selfies, thanks popping up on social media and creating content and showing your face out there. For employer brand managers, talent acquisition professionals, and those invested in personal and employer branding understand the symbolic relationship between how we present ourselves and how we brand our organizations is pivotal. This dialogue is it isn't just about fashion. It's about the strategic act of personal and professional branding where every choice speaks volumes and allows you to leverage the key benefits of branding to win attention of your prospective candidates, employees, even clients if you work as a solopreneur. I'm sure you all know Seth Godin. I think that he's one of the most insightful minds in the world of marketing. He offers a perspective on branding that I strongly believe in and that goes far beyond logos and taglines and visual identities. And according to Godin, branding is fundamentally about the stories, emotions, and expectations that our audience associate with us or our organizations. It's not just about what we sell or the services we offer or the vacancies that we have available for our talents. It's about the feelings and connections that those offerings evoke in people. And this understanding of branding as a deeply emotional and psychological process is critical for anyone who's looking to make a lasting impact in this field, especially for professionals in creative sectors like employer branding, marketing, and communications. In this episode of the Building a Modern Brand podcast, my intention is to connect you with what branding really means and requires through something easier to understand: our personal style, our appearance, and personality. And if you are new to this podcast, welcome, my friend. My name is Susanna Rantanen, and this podcast is exactly what you want as your weekly routine if you work in HR, employer branding, or talent acquisition and want to learn how to effectively use branding, marketing, and communications for ultimate professional success of yours. And as one of the top employer branding experts and influencers globally, I'm here to introduce you to the world of modern employer branding with practical, logical, science-based, yet delightful way to build an employer brand. And my intention is to take you with me every week to another universe where we dig into how to use marketing, how to use communication, how to use content and social media to make this lasting impact and deliver those results that we're expected to. I'm all about using my knowledge for professional and personal success for my employees, for my or our clients and students, but also for my own success. And this is what I want for you too. Not just to help your organization or help you to help your organization, but help you to succeed and help you yourself, help your boss to succeed, because that's what they want for themselves. And when you help them to succeed, they will help you to succeed too. Ultimate goal, make your touch golden. Now, I want you to stick with me and you learn how to win sustainable attention in a world where attention is no longer a default, because attention is now your currency and you can exchange it for anything that you want. Let's talk about the essence of branding, those emotional connections and expectations. Godin often emphasizes that effective branding creates a set of expectations and builds a relationship with the audience. And when people encounter your brand, they're not just thinking about the functional benefits of your products or your services, of your career opportunities and your workplace. They're also engaging with what your brand stands for, its values, its personality, and the emotional payoff of being associated with it. That is what makes them either buy in or opt out. An offer without an emotional resonance, it's a commodity. Commodities are basic goods and materials that are widely used and that are not meaningfully differentiated from one another. That's why with commodities, people choose the cheapest one. Organizations can also be commodities. If your organization is seen as a commodity employer, your audience doesn't see any other value in your offer but the monthly compensation. That's why you have to pay them a higher salary so that they will choose you. Commodity organizations have to compete with salaries because they are perceived not to have any other value beneficial for the employees and job seekers but the monthly compensation. And Godin has also famously said, a brand is the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that, taken together, account for a consumer's decision to choose one product over another. And this Godin philosophy extends so seamlessly into personal and employer branding. It's about crafting this narrative that is so compelling that it draws people towards you or your organization, not because they need what you offer, but because they feel this intrinsic pull towards your mission and your purpose and your shared values and vision. Why then is appearance such a critical statement of professional identity? I would say that the answer lies in the essence of branding itself. Whether it's branding an individual or an organization, the goal is always to stand out, isn't it? To differentiate oneself from the crowd, not just through actions and offerings, but through a palpable and memorable presence. Your appearance, your style, they're not just superficial veneers when we talk about branding. They are integral components of your brand's narrative. This visual story that complements the values and messages that you wish to convey. And in the context of employer branding, this concept is even more pronounced. And organizations' culture, values, and identity, they are often personified through its people. Just as my personal style serves as a nonverbal cue to my creative and visionary ethos, an organization's collective presentation can significantly influence perceptions, attracting talents and clients who resonate with its core values and vision. This is where personal branding seamlessly transitions into employer branding. Both require authenticity, consistency, and a keen understanding of the audience that you wish to engage with. I've told you that I am an introvert, and as an introverted marketing, branding, and communications professional, my attire is a conscious extension of my personality and my values. I guess I use it to attract attention, to compensate for my weakness of being quite timid to approach people that I don't know. So I compensate that timidness with my appearance to draw their attention to me so that it makes it easier for me to talk to them, to approach them. My personal style alternates between my sweatpants days topped with casual jewelry to the influences of Jenna Lyon's tomboy meets granny aesthetics and the iconic fashion of Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. They serve as a visual dialogue with the world around me. And it's a balance of comfort, individuality, and this aesthetic pleasure, a testament to the magpie in me that adores all the shiny objects from sequins to diamonds, fake and real, all while navigating between being approachable yet distinctive and memorable. Let's go back to Godin, because one of Godin's key points is the importance of authenticity in branding, which I have been talking about in multiple episodes over the past weeks, because that's also something that comes up in social media right now very strongly, that people want to see authenticity and transparency. Now, I've talked about authenticity building trust, and trust obviously is foundational to any lasting relationship between a brand and its audience. This means that every aspect of your branding, from your personal style to the way you communicate your organization's mission, should reflect the true values and beliefs at the core of who you are personally or what your organization stands for, right? This sounds familiar, doesn't it? Consistency in this authenticity ensures that your audience's expectations are met or exceeded every time that they interact with your brand, reinforcing the emotional connection and the loyalty. And this means that whether you are branding yourself as a professional or branding your organization as an employer, you can be you. Your organization can be exactly what it is. Your people can be who they are. No one has to pretend to be something that they don't feel comfortable within. And this core being is communicated consistently through the appearance, the actions, and the messages, allowing your audience to really get to know you or your organization through that personality. And this, my friend, makes it very natural for them to want to be first your casual friend, then your loyal friend, and eventually a partner. And this is the same with employees and clients. They choose you because of who you are and how your being inspires them and helps them to be better or have a better life. Last week, I spoke about storytelling in employer or recruitment marketing, employer branding. Godin also highlights the power of storytelling in branding. Stories are how humans make sense of the world, and a compelling narrative can actually make your brand stand out in a very crowded market. Your personal style, your professional achievements, and how you articulate your vision can all be part of a powerful brand story that resonates with your target audience. If you are a talent acquisition professional, you have to obviously compel the talent audience out there to choose you and pay attention to your recruitment messages instead of all the other recruiters that are trying to approach and win their attention as well. Thinking about how your style and your achievements and your attire and how you articulate your vision and how you help them. When you think about that, this can be a really amazing help for you, a really powerful tool for you, vehicle for you to help you achieve your goals as a talent acquisition professional. Now, the storytelling is not just about what you've done. It's about why it matters. The story is not what you need and what you can offer. It's why it matters. How does it make someone's life better? What have you learned and experienced that can help someone else? How it all reflects your approach to challenges and opportunities. It's this narrative that people will remember and connect with, making your brand a part of their stories. I like to convince you that there can be this seamless narrative between your personal brand as a professional that you are and employer branding. Connecting personal branding with employer branding, as Godin's principle suggests, requires this seamless narrative that aligns individual values with organizational culture. And even though we don't have to specifically talk about anyone's personal brand, we can talk about people and their personalities, their work personalities. How do they conduct themselves? What are their values? What are their beliefs? What do they, what kind of a why inspires them and so on? These are very deeply integrated in the magnetic employer branding method. Seamless narrative that aligns individuals with their values and the organizational culture. I see organizational culture as a personality of an organization, the same way as us individuals have our own personality. And the seamless narrative aligns these two personalities. And this alignment ensures that the brand's external expression through marketing and communications and visual identity, they are all congruent with the internal reality of working within that organization. And it is this congruence that attracts the right talents, the right clients, and the right partners who share similar values and are drawn to that brand's authentic story based on their purpose of being, the problems they solve, what they believe in directing the way they operate, and how they cast the vision of a better life, how they cast the vision of a better life for their target audience. Now, in essence, branding as seen through the lenses of Seth Godin and myself is a form of leadership. It's about guiding perceptions and emotions in a way that fosters deep connections and loyalty. Whether you're an introverted branding professional like me or a visionary entrepreneur like me as well, but embracing that unique style and story of yours and aligning it with your organization can turn your professional brand into this northern light for those who share your vision, which is aligned with your organization's vision. And this is a really important cue if we want to apply, for example, talent advocacy, employee advocacy in a really successful way. Oftentimes, people are much better influencers than the organization itself, but aligning these seamlessly can make a huge difference. And that's what real employer advocacy is really about. Now, it's not about making a mark with what you do, but it's how you make people feel when you do. It's about inspiring them to join on that journey, whether it's your personal brand journey or whether it's that organization's employer branding journey. And this approach to branding, which is focused on this strong emotional resonance, authenticity, and storytelling, this is what differentiates the memorable from the forgettable. And you really want to be positioned at the side of the memorable ones, not the forgettable ones, right? It's also what differentiates the magnetic employer branding method from any other form of employer branding that I've seen or experienced. Okay, in conclusion, branding is an art form that goes beyond like a mere aesthetic, the mere visual outside or any marketing strategy. It's about crafting a story that is so compelling and authentic that it leaves an indelible mark on those who encounter it, whether through even just the clothes that you wear, but also like how you carry yourself or the values that you champion. Every choice is a piece of the puzzle that contributes to the larger picture of our personal and professional identities. But it's not about this visual layer. The visual layer comes after the core. It's just how we make what's in there, how we tell it visually, right? So it's about building upon the authentic soul and the value system and the personality at the heart of the brand, whether it's the company, the organization, when the personality is then reflected by the company culture and the values and the beliefs and so on, or the personality of yourself, or the personality of those talent ambassadors. Consistency in this authentic expression is really crucial because you don't want mixed signals to dilute the brand's impact, because then it's really hard for your audience to feel this genuine connection. And as we navigate the complexities in this professional and personal branding, I want you and I to embrace our unique styles, because those are powerful tools of communication. But be you, just like I'm going to be me. Let your appearance, whatever makes you feel confident and comfortable and lifts you up, make that be a reflection of your inner self, this strategic element that complements your brand's narrative. Let's make each piece count, embracing our unique styles as a testament to the brands that you and I are building and the legacies that we aspire to leave behind. Because that's what happens. The journey of branding, whether personal or organizational, it must be rooted in authenticity. Unlike branding objects, which can be obviously molded into any sort of a desirable form, when you brand a person or an organization, it really demands the foundation of truth, because people will talk back. They will call you out if you are making pretend stories, right? The goal is not to appeal to everyone, but to resonate profoundly with those who share your vision and values as a business, as an entrepreneur, as a professional, as an employer, as anything you are. What are your thoughts? Does this resonate with you or not? Because if it doesn't, then I'm afraid that modern employer branding is not for you. I'm not the right guide in branding, marketing, and communication for you. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay for you, and that's okay for me. Because as said, there needs to be this seamless alignment that resonates within your core. And if I don't do that for you, then we're not the match, and that's okay. And like in all branding, it's about connecting on an emotional level, sharing the same beliefs, passions, and aspirations that come to your goals. And if this resonates with you and we are not connected yet, please find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Connect with me. I'll make sure that I'll put the links to my social profiles on the show notes page. And when you do find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or TikTok, or YouTube, drop me a DM, introduce yourself, and let me know that modern employer branding compels you and that you and I are on the same wavelength, because this would mean a lot to me. And then I know to also connect better with you. All right. Before I'm going to let you go, I've got something new and exciting for you. And this is a monthly actionable email that we call It's a Wrap. Why do we call it It's a Wrap? I've got no idea. It just kind of bounced from my soul when we started talking about it internally, and the name stuck. You'll see. But it's a monthly actionable email to support learning a more systematic way to employer branding. It's free. And each month we'll provide you with action points for that month, some tips, advice, any recommendations that are based on our own experiences and insight to sweep you into the world of modern employer branding. It's all free, as said, no credit card needed, nothing to expect from you other than to start adopting a more systematic way of employer branding and expanding your thoughts on what employer branding truly is and can be for you as well. Now you can find the link to sign up on the modernemployerbrand.com/podcast171. And when it comes to this podcast, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your colleagues working with branding and especially employer branding. Stay tuned for another insightful episode of Mastering Branding, Marketing, and Communications in a world where attention is no longer a default. My name is Susanna Rantanen. Thanks for tuning in. Until next week. Moi moi.